Hello and welcome to Class 34. Today we're going to be speaking about the Tokyo Olympics that were supposed to occur in 2020, but they are currently occurring in 2021 right now. So we're going to be talking about this topic this week.
I did baseball for the first time since 2008 Olympics and 13 years without having baseball in the Olympics. This year, the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, which, like you said, was used to be the 2020 Olympics, the baseball will be featured in it. The only countries that are participating are Israel, Japan, Mexico, South Korea, the United States, and the Dominican Republic will be the only countries in this tournament. And all baseball games will be held at the Yokohama Baseball Stadium in Japan.
Shooting in general. Shooting as a sport is a collaborative group of competitive and recreational sporting activities involving proficiency tests of accuracy, precision, and speed in shooting. This sport requires a gun and one or more goals. How you perform this sport is to shoot using the gun onto the goal with precision and or as fast as you can, depending on what specific event is ongoing. The shooting sport in Tokyo Olympics takes place from July 22nd to 2021 to August 2nd, 2021. There are 15 shooting events in total, and 2 shooting events has already ended and had their winners, where for men's 10-meter air pistol and women's 10-meter air pistol, these two guys won.
My name is Joshua Wei, and I did water polo. And this sport originated in Europe in the 1860s, and it joined the Olympics in the 1900 games. And this sport is the only sport played in a pool. And simply put, water polo is pretty much water soccer using hands. And in water polo, there are 4 quarters with 8 minutes each, and players tread water to stay afloat as they pass the ball around with one hand trying to score a goal. And this sport requires immense upper body strength. Next slide. In 2020 Tokyo Olympics, it's divided into 2 teams, men's and women's. On the men's teams, there are South Africa, USA, Hungary, Greece, Japan, Italy, Australia, Croatia, Serbia, Spain, Kazakhstan, and Montenegro. And on the women's teams, there are Australia, South Africa, the Netherlands, Spain, Canada, Russia, Japan, Hungary, USA, and China.
Surfing is a water sport which the surfer rides on waves with a board. It has been assumed that surfing originated from Hawaii, but it's rather the Polynesians that brought surfing to Hawaii where it got popular. The appropriate setting for surfers are usually the ocean, but sometimes getting the perfect wave to ride on is not easy. This is where modern technology comes in. Artificial waves are created for surfers to ride on. Located in Miyazaki, Japan, Sigaya Ocean Dome is one of the wave pools that can be surfed on. The general equipment of surfing are surfboard, leash, surf wax, and swimwear.
Rowing is a sport of racing boats using oars. There can be many different numbers of team members, including the coxswain, who sits at the stern or the back of the boat, facing the front. This person is responsible for steering the boat and coordinating the rowers. Rowing was planned to be introduced in the 1896 Summer Olympics, but was cancelled due to weather problems. Therefore, rowing officially debuted in the 1900 Olympics. There are currently 14 rowing events, 7 for each gender. The events are single sculls, double sculls, quadruple sculls, coxless pair, coxless 4, coxless 8, and lightweight double sculls.
My name is Gigi Guan, and I did artistic swimming, which is a women's Olympic discipline since 1984 that combines technical perfection, synchronization, choreography, artistry, and expressive power. The current Olympic program has competition in duet and team events. In a pool at least 3 meters deep, 20 meters wide, and 25 meters long, each team completes a technical routine that includes a set of 5 designated movements lasting a maximum of 2 minutes and 50 seconds, as well as a free routine lasting 3 to 4 minutes. The routines are performed to music. Athletes wear beautifully decorated swimsuits and waterproof makeup, and performances are scored, teams ranked on synchronization, difficulty, technique, and choreography.
Next would be figure skating presented by Ellie Zong. Figure skating, its origins are that actually I didn't see this, but I think my composition is wrong. Sorry. A treatise on skating, written in 1772 by Robert Jones, who is an Englishman, was supposedly the first account of figure skating, and the sport had a cramped and formal style until the American Jackson Haynes introduced his more free and expressive techniques based on dance movements in the mid 1860s. Although it was popular in Europe, Haynes' style, called the international style, did not catch on in the United States until long after he had died at the age of 35, which is quite sad. Irving Brokaw, the first American to represent the country in an international competition, participated in the 1908 Olympics, where he finished 6th. George H. Brown, depends how you want to pronounce it, organized the first US championships for men, women, and pairs, wrote 2 important books on skating, and was involved in the establishment of a national skating organization. Figure skating is a sport in which ice skaters, singly or in pairs, performed freestyle movements of jumps, spins, lifts, and footwork in a graceful manner. Its name derives from the patterns or figures skaters make on the ice, an element which was a major part of the sport until recently. And there are various kinds of figure skating, including freestyle, pairs, ice dance, and synchronized team skating. The style of competition, as well as moves and techniques of the skaters, varies from each category of skating. Figure skating has become one of the most popular sports of the Winter Olympics in recent times, and that's it.
Hi everyone, my name is Eric Yang, and today I'll be talking about archery. Next slide. Okay, so some things about the history of archery. It started 10,000 years ago, and it was used to hunt food and for fighting other humans. However, it was kind of forgotten after the invention of guns and other weapons. And ever since then, archery has turned from a lifestyle into a more like a competitive sport. It originated in the Olympics since 1900 at Paris. However, after 1920, it was removed, and it came back in 1972. So I'm going to talk about archery in the Olympics. So in the Olympics, archers will use a bow and arrows to hit a target. And the target is separated into 10 rings with 5 colors. The closer your arrow lands in the middle, the more points you earned. So you can earn up to a total of 10 points per shot. And archers will shoot their targets from 70 meters away. And they will compete in pairs where the person with the least points is eliminated. and eventually there will be two archers left to compete for the gold and silver medals, and the two semifinalists will compete for the bronze medal.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and today I'll be introducing fencing. So fencing is a combat sport, and it's based on the traditional skills of swordsmanship. Here we have two pictures. The top right picture is a picture of Chinese martial arts, which is where a lot of fencing terminology and skills are derived from. And then here at the bottom right is one of the first recorded drawings of, or like illustrations of fencing. This would have originated in Europe circa like 1600. So as a competitive sport in the modern days, fencing is, fencers win points through contact with the opponent. So here we have a picture of three fencers from three different disciplines. And what we see here is that if you imagine another fencer that's facing towards them, say that fencer A is able to touch the tip of their sword to fencer B, then fencer A will win a point, and then they'll restart their positions and then continue to win more points until the time ends and the person with the more points will win the match. So here we have three disciplines of fencing: foil, epee, and saber. So for foil, fencers are allowed to touch their swords to only the chest area. If they touch it anywhere else, then that point doesn't count. For epee, you're allowed to touch anywhere on the body, and for saber, you can only touch above the hips. There's also different sword types for each discipline, and if you look really closely, you can see them. But basically, we can just see that for foil, there's a really small shield in front of the hand. For epee, there's a larger shield, and then for saber, there's an even larger shield. So equipment, so as we can see, there's swords. So even though like they're rounded tips with like plastic, and theoretically it shouldn't be able to stab anyone, someone did die in 1982 at the World Championships. So the equipment has definitely been upgraded, and especially with modern technology, fencing is now considered one of the safest sports to be a competitive athlete in. So here featured here, we have the traditional vest, which contains Kevlar, which is like a material made for tires. So yeah, it's really strong. Here's the glove that's also really tough. It's probably made out of Kevlar and also leather. And then here's the helmet that all fencers wear, so none of their vital organs are damaged. And at the Olympics, fencing is actually one of the first sports to be played in the Olympics. It is one of the 5 activities which have been featured in every single modern Olympic game. And at the 2021 Olympics, the fencing event takes place, well, it started today. And the individual events will end on the 26th, and the team events will start the next day and up until August 1st. So as we can see, there's lots of dramatic poses that fencers kind of go into to achieve their points. And the winners of the day today is Sun Yue. She's the gold medalist for the women's epee this year at the Olympics. And Aaron I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he is the men's saber gold medalist.
Hi, I'm Juliana, and I'll be talking about artistic gymnastics. So what exactly is artistic gymnastics? Artistic gymnastics is a classic and well-known sport where gymnasts are challenged to perfect their skills in the different events. Female and male artistic gymnasts compete in different events. Though some of them are the same, a lot of them are different. Female artistic gymnastics includes the beam, the vault, uneven bars, and floor exercise, while men artistic gymnastics includes rings, vault, pommel horse, horizontal bar, parallel bar, and floor exercise. For the artistic gymnastics events, the beam is where the gymnasts show their balance by performing tricks on a 5 feet long, 10 centimeter wide beam. And this is a women's event. For vault, competitors run and jump off of a springboard to launch themselves onto the vault and use both hands to push off and perform a series of tricks. And this is performed by both male and female. Uneven bars is testing a gymnast's upper body strength, and competitors must perform a series of tricks by going from a lower bar to a higher bar, and this is a women's event. Floor exercise is a male and female event, and it is a combination of dance and gymnastics where competitors perform a 90-second long routine to show their skills. Rings are a male event, and they use just 2 rings to lift and hold their bodies into the air. Pommel horse is one of the most challenging events, and gymnasts must use their strength to support their weight on a horse and perform tricks, and this is a male event. Parallel bars is also a male event, and a gymnast on 2 parallel bars must use their upper body strength to show their skills. And finally, we have horizontal bar, which is also another male event where competitors perform tricks on a complex dismount bar. Okay, so some history is artistic gymnastics has been around for a long time, and we know this because the gymnastic system was mentioned by many ancient authors such as Homer, Aristotle, and a lot of other ones. And then in its present form, through history, we can see that it evolved from Germany in the beginning of the 19th century. And the gymnast was first included in the Olympic summer of 1896, but females were not allowed to compete until 1928. And for the Tokyo Olympics, the male events have all been completed yesterday, and then the female events are going today, and then there will be, I believe, 4 more days where they continue with individual events.
Hi, I'm Sabrina. I'll talk about equestrian today. Equestrian comprises 3 disciplines: dressage, eventing, and jumping, with men and women competing on equal terms. Equestrian featured in Paris' 19,000 Games, but its official debut took place at Stockholm 1912. Individual and team medals are awarded in each of the 3 equestrian disciplines. Dressage is considered the most artistic of the equestrian sports and is used as the groundwork for all the other disciplines. It tests the ability of horse and athlete to display both athletic prowess and supreme elegance by evaluating an athlete's ability to make their horse move quickly from side to side, transitioning to a gallop, or rapidly change direction using subtle commands. Eventing is often described as an equestrian triathlon. It is a discipline where each competition is composed of a jumping, dressage, and cross-country test to determine the final score, demanding considerable experience in different equestrian disciplines. And jumping is a spectacular mix of courage, control, and technical ability that requires the horse and athlete combinations to complete a course with 12 to 15 knockable obstacles laid out in a particular order. These include double and treble combinations, water features, and simulated stone walls, ranging from 1.4 meters to 1.65 meters high and up to 2.2 meters deep. They incur penalties for each obstacle knocked down or refused, as well as time penalties for exceeding the time allowed depending on the qualifying competition.
I'll be talking about boxing.
I'm Gavin, and I'll be doing tennis. In the beginning of a tennis game, one side serves and the other receives. The serving side starts on the right side of the baseline and switch sides each serve. The serves have to go diagonally to the service box on the other side. When counting points, love means 0, 15 means 1, 30 means 2, 40 means 3, and after 40 is game, which means the game end. When the scores are tied, add an R to the end. For example, if you tied at 30, you would say 30R. When the scores tie at 40, it's called deuce. Tennis was invented in 1873 by Major Walter Wingfield. The fastest serve in tennis is 205 kilometers per hour. Before rackets were invented, people used their hands to play tennis, and nobody knows why the term love is used in tennis instead of 0.
Hi, I'm Lucia. I'll be introducing diving. So some key facts to know is that the Olympic pool has a minimum depth of 16 feet, and there's both synchronized and solo diving. The two pictures on the right are teams that have qualified this year so far, and a dive is only a dive if you enter the water head first. And also the diving board's core is laminated wood that is secured using clamps and metal spacers. So this year's schedule, it starts tomorrow. So today is July 24th. So it starts tomorrow at 3. And you guys should tune in if you're available.
I'll be talking about boxing. Boxing is a combat sport where two athletes throw punches at each other in the ring. The athlete who more successfully lands blows to their opponent's head or body wins. 5 judges will watch the match and award points for what they think is a successful blow. A match lasts 3 rounds and each round lasts 3 minutes. Boxing has been in every modern Olympic game since 1904, except in 1912. Women's events were added to Olympic boxing in 2012. Boxing tournaments at the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo will take place from July 24th to August 8th. Women will compete in 5 weight divisions and men will compete in 8 weight divisions.
I'll be going over skateboarding. A skateboard is a short, narrow board with 2 small wheels attached to the bottom of either end. Skateboarders ride on this to perform tricks. The skateboard was invented in the USA in the 1930s and climbed to popularity in the 1970s. There are 2 types of skateboarding that will be featured at the Olympics: park and street. Park competitions take place on a hollowed-out course featuring a series of complicated curves, allowing for more difficult and complicated tricks. Street competition is held on a straight street-like course featuring stairs, handrails, curbs, benches, walls, and slopes.
I'll be doing baseball. Sorry for whoever that did baseball too. I didn't realize. Can you go back, please? Thank you. The sport baseball Olympics dates back to 2008. It was held in Beijing, China from August 13 to August 23. The objective is to score more runs than your opponent or points. Hitting the ball thrown at you as far as you can before running 4 bases to score a point. The layout is the game is played in 2 teams made up of 4 players. The game lasts for 4 innings, 1 for each player, with alternating teams. The score at the end determines which team wins. Each team has 3 outs per inning before switching. Separating infield and outfield, there's a diamond shaped bases, 90 feet apart each. Center of the infield is the pitcher who throws the ball. The batter stands on the home plate. The batter must touch all the bases before scoring a home run. The bat's made of either wood, aluminum, or metal. The ball is red and white with a 3-inch diameter. Field team wears mitts that is a giant glove that helps catch the ball. The catcher that sits behind the batter wears extra padding on the mitts along with leg guards, body pads, and a helmet. The Olympic baseball rules. Olympics starts at June 28 at Yokohama Baseball Stadium. And on the picture it shows the groups and the losers competing to get the medals.
Hi, I'll be talking about basketball. So first I'll be talking about how to play basketball. So to win a game of basketball, you have to score more points than the other team. And points can be scored by shooting a basketball into a net. So basketball was invented in 1891 by James Naismith, and the game became really popular. So an organization called the NBA was established. There are 30 teams in the NBA, and each year they compete for the NBA championship. And very recently, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Phoenix Suns to win the NBA championship.
Taekwondo. Taekwondo is an Olympic sport that is contested at the Summer Olympic Games. It was introduced in the 1988 and 1992 Olympic Games as a demonstration sport and made its debut as a full medal sport at the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney, Australia. Taekwondo is one of the most systematic and scientific Korean traditional martial arts that teaches more than physical fighting skills. It is a discipline that shows ways of enhancing our spirit and life through training our body and mind. History of Taekwondo. Taekwondo, also known as Taekwondo, it is the art of self-defense that originated in Korea. It is recognized as one of the oldest forms of martial arts in the world, reaching back over 2,000 years. The name was selected for its appropriate description of the art. Tai, which means foot, Kwan, which means hand, Do means art. One of the earliest clues of Taekwondo's existence is a mural painting on the wall of a tomb that was built in Korea, Kingdom of Kongo, between 37 BC and 66 AD. The drawing shows two unarmed figures facing each other in a Taekwondo style stance. Additional drawings in the tomb shows figures performing blocks and wearing uniforms similar to those in modern time Taekwondo training.
Oh, weightlifting. There are several rules to weightlifting. There's two types of weightlifting, both of which are used in the Olympics. There's the snatch and there's the clean and jerk. Each athlete has to do 3 attempts for each one, and their best attempt is recorded as their score for each type, and then to get the score, the final score, you add the top score for the snatch and the top score for the clean and jerk. And here are some of the most famous Olympic weightlifters.
Triathlon by me. First of all, what is the triathlon? The triathlon is a three-sport race consisting of swimming, cycling, and running. The race originated in France in around 1901. It is known to be an endurance sport due to the long distances and time the athletes have to swim, bike, and run. The triathlon were first included in the Olympics at the Sydney 2000 Games. For both men and women's triathlons, athletes will have to complete a 1,500-meter swim, 14-kilometer bike ride, and 10-kilometer run. It is one continuous race with no breaks allowed. The first athlete to reach the finish line is immediately the winner. The Tokyo Olympics triathlons will occur on the 26th and 27th of July this year.
Hello, my name is Jason Lamb, and I will be covering swimming. So, swimming. Swimming is actually one of the most popular Olympic sports that are currently out there. It is one of the most popular spectator sports in the Olympics, and it is second only to some of the athletic sports. With varied distance events and butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle, along with individual medleys and also medley relays. These events have brought many viewers and many spectators to enjoy the sport of swimming. In addition to these individual events, there are also 4 swimmers that can take part as a team in either a freestyle or medley relay. A medley relay consists of 4 swimmers who each will swim a different stroke ordered in the backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle pattern. These swimmers will go into a medley relay, and their jobs are as follows: as to get the fastest time. Usually, there are 4 positions, especially in the medleys. There are the starter. There are mainly only 2 real positions. It's mainly the starter and the anchor. The starter is the second fastest person in the team. Following the starter is the 3rd fastest person and the 4th fastest person. These 3 people are going in the orders 1, 2, and 3. And finally, the anchor is the fastest person in the team, and he is in the 4th position. In competition, there are usually acceptable forms and types of swim. There are usually regulations that basically limit the types of form of which you can use. So for example, swimming, let's say you're swimming breaststroke, you cannot swim some sort of deviation of breaststroke. So you have to go with the standard form, which is mainly to first do a pull and then a kick along with it. And to make sure that swimmers don't add any other boosts. For example, nobody can try to freestyle kick during a breaststroke because that's a different type of stroke, and the form of which is unacceptable if you are doing such. There's also limitations on the types of caps, jewelry, swimwear, along with injury tape at all competitions. These limitations are basically there to ensure that there's an even playing field. Speaking of some of the equipment, caps, and things of which swimmers might want to wear. For example, swimmers use, there is something known as a tech suit. Tech suits are swimsuits of which have been specifically designed for the swimmer to allow them to be more streamlined in the water, evidently giving them a slight edge over their competition. And these suits are basically there to ensure that swimmers have a streamlined pattern and ensure that they are able to swim faster through the water and be able to swim extremely, just a tiny bit faster than their competition, making sure that they can maybe scratch out maybe an extra second. When in swimming, that an extra second is actually quite a lot. In competitions, there is also a possibility for swimmers to incur injuries, such as tendinitis in the shoulders and knees. This is mainly because of how much swimmers are mainly using their arms and their legs, as swimming is a what is considered to be a full body workout, having to use both your arms to propel you forward and your legs to help kick and apply force backwards, ensuring that you also swim faster. Ever since 1912, the women's swim section began, and along with track and field athletics and gymnastics, it is, as I've already mentioned, one of the most popular spectator sports at the Olympic Games. Swimming is the second highest number, also has the second highest number of Olympic events. That is beaten by athletics. So swimming has probably the highest amount of events because of the amount of variations of every single type of category. Moving on. So, as I've already mentioned, there are, oh, it seems like we have a little bit of a question in the chat. How does swimming injure people? So sometimes when you're swimming, mainly what I was referring to back then is the overuse of your joints. So if we can go back to the previous slide real quick. Maybe not. Okay, but basically what swimming would do is, as I've already mentioned, it will bring tinnitus in your shoulders and your knees. That's because when you're swimming, you have to pull a lot of water through your arms like this. So you can see how my shoulder currently is going through a lot of motion. And what happened with swimmers is, because of this overuse of motion in their shoulder blades and their kneecaps, it will eventually cause their body parts to basically gain tinnitus, which will cause pain to them if they use their shoulders or their knees anymore. Next slide. So, as I've already mentioned, swimming has multiple different variations, and these sort of variations all have their different own categories. So as you can see, there's the 100 meter, the 200 meter, 400 meter, along with 800s, and of course also there's also some 50s and 1,500 scattered in beneath there. But basically, for all of these categories, there is both a men's and a women's section. So I'm going to go through them right now. We have the 100 meter backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle. So these are all 4 of the strokes, along with this is actually exclusive to the freestyle section. However, we have the 1,500 freestyle section, along with the 550 freestyle section. Is anyone, I cannot breathe in swimming and training, so. I'll answer that question at the end. I'm actually going to start answering questions at the end. I'm going to get through this slide first, however. So we also have the 200 backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, freestyle, and this is also where the individual medleys start. So there is also a 200 individual medley for anybody who wants to do it. That basically means that one person is doing, yet again, the backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle section, only with one person. Then we also have the 400 freestyle along with its own individual medley. We also have the 4 times 100 freestyle relay and medley relay. These, yet again, are the 400 medley relay and a freestyle relay consisting of 4 people while doing 100 laps, 100 meters each. There's also the 4 times freestyle relay. This relay consists of 4 people doing a 200 each freestyle swim. And as I've already mentioned, there's also the 800 freestyle, and of course there is also the mixed times 100 meter medley relay. This basically means it's mixed gender, so it could be either male or females mixed within a team. Now, getting to the questions, is anyone, I'm just going to assume this basically is asking, has anybody been injured by lack of breath in swimming and training? So there's two different interpretations of your question. One of the interpretations, of course, that comes to mind is, of course, the thought of maybe somebody drowned, though I'm going to tell you drowning is actually highly unlikely from especially from swimmers, considering that usually every single swimmer would usually they would be in a pool, and of course they are both professional swimmers, and there's lifeguards on duty most likely making sure that probably nobody has drowned from that. However, I cannot be sure. But what another common thing of which people might think is actually physical exhaustion. For example, especially in some of the larger freestyle events. So for example, the 1,500 meter freestyle category, that event is quite hard, and physical exhaustion, it might be a thing of which might occur. However, the athletes of which practice in that have already prepared themselves for the 1,500, making sure that they won't really suffer from the exhaustion of which comes with swimming that long. However, I can see how physical exhaustion might cause somebody to maybe faint or lose their strength, which could cause a bit of drowning, but I highly doubt that many injuries have occurred due to that.
Hello, I'll be presenting hockey. Next slide, please. Okay. Hockey is a type of sport in which the players in each of the two teams use hook-shaped sticks, also known as hockey sticks, to try and score goals with the puck, which is a disc, into their opponent's goalpost. The matches are played over a total of 4 15-minute quarters. Each team consists of attackers, defenders, midfielders, and 1 goalkeeper. And the team with the most goals wins. The modern game version of hockey was founded in England in the mid-18th century. The first hockey association was established in 1876 in the UK, and the first formal set of rules were made. Hockey became an official Olympic sport at the London 1908 Games.